Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Nayasim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I am sure majority of you may have seen videos that the co-founder of Project 2025, it's no more. Heritage Foundation founder, right? Edwin, it's no more. And a lot of people have so many things to say, so many beautiful things, because at this point in time, you know, it's more screaming beautiful obituary. Now, some people will be like, what is wrong with you? For those that do not know, this present administration is operating on Project 2025. Literally everything that they said they were going to do, or everything they said that was going to happen are happening, and it was all in Project 2025. Now, I am going to say this for any human being who do not want good for you, because the Heritage Foundation did not want anything good to happen to anybody. Because tell me how they woke up and their plan was Medicaid. Because when you take away all those things that make people's life easier, people will absolutely start dying. And the universe said, you know what? You decided to make people's life very chaotic. Let me just bless you with something good. And they decided to do their thing. And a lot of people are blessed too to witness this. Yeah. So he passed. And you know what? I am just going to roll this video so we all can see. Let's get into it.
Reporting live from the United States of Embarrassment, I have your breaking good news. It seems as if while we were sleeping, the co-writer of Project 25 and the founder of the Heritage Foundation has passed away. That's right. That's right. Edwin J. Funer passed away last night at around 2 a.m. Now, what is the Heritage Foundation? I know a lot of you guys know what it is, but some may not. Now, the Heritage Foundation is like a cult within a cult. Very, very conservative group of men. The Heritage Foundation has had a big hand in a lot of very conservative policies and legislation that have been implemented into Congress and that are still being implemented into Congress. And yeah, this is actually what are y'all having for dinner? What are y'all having for dinner? Anyways, as always, I will be available to provide you with breaking good news to outweigh the bad. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Ed Fuellner is dead, and now he stands before the Most High God. Not the think tanks, not the lobbyists, not the donors he served, but the God of justice, the God of truth, and the God of the oppressed. Because when you harm God's people, you don't die in silence. You die into judgment. Galatians 6 and 7 says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." Ed sowed policies that crippled the poor. He sowed legislation that stripped Black and brown communities of dignity, safety, and opportunity. He built an empire that made war against the very people that Christ died for. And now, he must reap. This is not about revenge. This is about accountability. Heavenly accountability. Because God does not forget the cries of the afflicted. Proverbs 22 verses 22 to 23 says, "Do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court. For the Lord will take up their case and exact life for life." The Heritage Foundation's hands are bloody, with decades of quiet cruelty, destroying families through mass incarceration, blocking access to health care, justifying the suffering of children, all while quoting freedom. But God sees everything done in the darkness. Ecclesiastes 12:14 says, "For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil." He may have escaped earthly punishment, but he did not escape the throne of God. And for those still carrying out his wicked policies, hear this. Isaiah 10:1 through 3 warns you, "Woe to those who make unjust laws To those who issue depressive decrees, what will you do on the day of reckoning when disaster comes from afar? This isn't politics. This is spiritual warfare. And the kingdom of God does not sleep while his people suffer. So no, we don't rejoice in death. We rejoice in truth. And the truth is, when you build your empire off the backs of the oppressed, your fall is guaranteed. Fiona is gone, but God is still on the throne. Injustice, it's just getting started.
A lot of people are celebrating today because the co-founder of Heritage Foundation has passed away. He was 83 years old, and you can't fucking blame him. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I have never felt that way about anybody. But now, especially for the past many years I have, it's just like things that I think are just really fucking awful that I would have never ever thought before. Like, there are literally people out here celebrating. I have watched video after video of people celebrating his passing, and that is so hard to swallow. But this is who we are as a people now, and it's very disheartening. And then at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't you celebrate this? The shit that's in Project 2025 is absolutely horrifying. And more of it's being completed every day. This thing that was fake news is being completed every day. Why would you not celebrate? Because he was celebrating the deaths of so many others. He was celebrating the fact of how many people this was going to hurt. He celebrated it. This is what he wanted. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
So they said the founder of the Heritage Foundation and the co-author of Project 2025 dropped dead last night at about 2 a.m. You know, when I was growing up, my grandma used to always say, you know, those deaths, they come in threes. Who's next?
It is always a great feeling to wake up on Saturday to some good news. The founder of the Heritage Foundation, Edwin Fjolnir, is dead at 83. You know, the people behind Project 2025 that want to send America back to the Stone Age and only have white people own anything or be in a position of power. Who want to erase LGBTQ plus people, or at the very least put them back in the closet where they think they belong. Yeah, their founder did. Edwin decided to check into his reserved spot in hell a little bit earlier than he'd officially planned. And I did have to look up a little bit more about this guy because he was fairly unfamiliar to me, at least, and I found a quote of his that really just goes to show what kind of mindset they have, and that was, one of my colleagues used to hand out bottled water to every congressman he met because he was afraid that they would be drinking too much tap water from the Potomac River and that would corrupt them. I really hope the rule of 3 can go into effect here and we can lose 2 more evil people this year. I have mine in mind. I wonder who yours are. Personally, I put any number of dictators or authoritarians on that list so the list is actually pretty long.
With sad news. Nah, ain't no sad news. This is great news, okay? Might be sad news at the Heritage Foundation because their founder or co-founder, whatever it may be, Mr. Edwin Fjolnir, I don't care what his name is. He's gone. He's out of here. Benito. No more, okay? He transitioned last night at 2 a.m. in his sleep. I wonder what he was dreaming about. Who cares? He's probably down there digging coals and fire. Or maybe he's right there in the middle asking for his grace of mercy because he implemented the laws right now. These laws are Project 2025. He's also the co-author. I forgot to say that. Oh, the co-author of Project 2025, which is help implement these laws to affect Black and brown people. Yeah, he did not like Black and brown people or nobody of the LGBTQ. So Project 2025, he helped write that to just try to get rid of those type of people like me. Whew. You never know when your time is coming, baby. Why are you trying to dig a hole for somebody else and hurt somebody? You might as well turn around and dig one for you, because that's usually how it works out. I don't know if anybody told him. I mean, he's 83. He's been on this earth for a while. He should have known that. But he did all this hiding behind his Bible. Oh, he's such a Christian. And some of y'all fell right for that. Yes, they use Christianity to just play into people, but they've been doing that for long time. Did it to my ancestors, you know what I'm saying? So whoo, child. But you know, they said when death come knocking, it usually come, and it comes in 3. So we have 2 other co-authors, Mr. Stephen Miller, who is on working in the Trump administration, but Trump said he did not know about Project 2025, which we now know was a lie, because the other co-author, Mr. what is his name, Russell Vought, yeah, he told Trump to say that, because he said, hey, it's all politics. They're going to believe you. These people are stupid. They don't know no better. And some of y'all believe him when he said that. I have black males fighting with me and telling me, oh, he said he didn't know. He said he didn't know. But the main people that architect Project 205 are working for this man. Stephen Miller is very evil. He is over Homeland Security, who is also control ICE. This is why you have all these deportation. Stephen Miller cannot stand Hispanics. I don't know what Hispanic lady broke his heart, or what Hispanic young guy did to him or bully him, because he has a thing. He don't really care for brown and black people either. He's on video saying how he just have fantasies about black and brown people being tortured. Like, that is his fantasy. That's a sick individual right there. And to think that he is actually married. Somebody actually married this man. Yeah. And Mr. Russell Vought, y'all, he is over the budget. Yes. His job is to come up with a budget proposal for the president and to implement it. So the big beautiful bill, guess who wrote that? Because it sure was not Trump. Trump is just a puppet. He's just the front man. He could care less about the presidency. They promised him that he would become rich, more money to enrich his businesses and to grow his empire, and he took that. He does not care if he's hated or not. He does not care. He's evil too. So Trump don't have no common sense, no knowledge. He could care less. You have all these people in Project 2025 working in his administration. Caroline Levitt, on no lips that be up there. Yeah, she's in his videos telling people about Project 2025, teaching it. Tom Homan, Bordazar. Yeah. He's a big part of it too. He's supported. He's like executive, or like he like put money into it. Whew, y'all. But they say death comes in 3. So I'm just letting y'all know, keeping you updated. But y'all, it's more Project 2025, baby. It's already surplus what it's supposed to do. Now we got Project Esther. And with Project Esther, there will be no LGBTQ people. Women were made to have babies whether they like it or not, especially YT women. So even if you are a lesbian, baby, you still got the working parts down there, you're going to have a baby. They're going to make you. They're going to force you so they can have more YT babies out here. And when it comes to religion, there'll be one religion. If this is you practicing any other religion, they will lock you up. That's just little tidbits of it. I will update you more there. Have a good one. With sad news. Nah, ain't no sad news. This is great news, okay? Might be.
Well, not everything is doom and gloom. This came across my feed this morning. That's right. Heritage Foundation founder Edward J. Fulner, I believe that is, dead at 83. Woo, woo, yeah, woo. Not the obituary I was hoping for, but I will take it. And before the comment section comes for me and gets very mad at me because I am celebrating this man no longer existing on the planet, understand that this person also co-wrote Project 2025, which is doing incredible harm and damage to the United States right now. All of the stuff with the Medicare cuts and the veterans being, fired and laid off, and ICE ripping families apart, and all of the erasure of trans people and bisexual people, and soon to be the rest of the alphabet mafia, all because of this man. Yeah. See, this human being here thinks that the United States should be going back to a God-fearing Christian nation where men are men and they're only men if they're cis het white, and that nobody else should exist, that women should be barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen just popping up babies and not having careers of their own. This person does not care about women's autonomy, like their women's choice to their own bodies. This person does not care that ICE is ripping families apart. This person does not care that Alligator, Alcatraz, and other facilities like it will soon exist and will soon exist, providing inhumane, unlivable conditions for people whose only crime was not being born in the United States. This person does not care about a large portion of the population. Okay? Women, anybody who's a part of the queer community, anybody who is not white, cis, het, and male. They don't care. They don't care. So if I can take a petty little moment and celebrate the loss of life of a monster, I'm going to take it. It's not the obituary I was hoping for, but it's the one that I'm going to enjoy, at least for today. So, but I'm sure the comment section is going to come for me and is going to call me, but I don't care. I don't care. Because this person doesn't care. This person would take away my rights as a woman. This person would take away my rights as a queer person. So they could go fuck themselves. And if there is, and since they were God-fearing, I really hope that there is a hell, and I'm pretty sure they will be in it. That's just my opinion, but...
Oh, you thought Project 2025 was scary. But you haven't heard about Project Esther yet, have you? While we've all been distracted worrying about Project 2025 and looking at statistics to see how much of it has actually come to fruition at this point, back in October of 2024, the Heritage Foundation submitted Project Esther. And I'm telling you, it's 1,000 times worse than Project 2025 could ever dream of. Project 2025 is just the beginning of this manifesto. And making a comparison, The Handmaid's Tale, that was the first book. The 6 seasons we watched, that was the first book. There are others. Just like Project 2025 was the prologue to what's about to happen with Project Esther. Reading Project 2025, it spoke very clearly about eradicating all religions from the United States. There will only be one God and one Bible, and it will be forced upon you. It is forced practice of religion. You will not be allowed to speak of any other God. You will not be allowed to read any material outside of that Bible. And if you try to practice anything outside of what you are forced to practice, they will imprison you and put you to death. Project Esther also speaks about surveillance. They want us having something inside of our bodies that is implanted, where the government knows our whereabouts, knows our medical history, our heart rate, our sugar, everything on a 24/7 basis. It talks about suppression, ladies. It talks about the fact that we are no longer considered people. We are the property of our husbands, meaning we no longer can drive, vote, have a bank account, go grocery shopping, wear what we want, have our hair the style that we want it. We are forced to be the property of our husbands. And women, it speaks about sterilization. It speaks about when women are born, when girls are born, being immediately sterilized after birth. And when you become of age to have a baby, they will grow said baby in a lab and implant it in you so that they can have the white male child that they want for this Project Esther to come to fruition. According to Project Esther, there is no more LGBTQI+. It's gone. It's eradicated because there are no more lesbian and gay people in the United States. That's right. If you're male and you're gay, you have an opportunity to become straight. And if you choose not to become straight, then you will be put to death immediately. And women, they don't really give a fuck if you're a lesbian or not because you still have a working womb. So you'll be forced to marry a man anyway, and oh well, just deal with it. Project Esther isn't just a legislative plan. It's a theological plan as well, with roots in dominionism. And if you don't know what that means, it means having control over all living things, human beings, plants, animals. It means that as a man, you control everything like a god. It states very clearly in Project Esther that it has been written to replace the Constitution of the United States with biblical law. That is the whole purpose of Project Esther. criminalization of abortion with death penalty being the reward will be a national thing for all of us. It won't matter state by state anymore what your governor and your senators say. As a nation, abortion will be criminal and you will be put to death. All public and private schooling will be completely eradicated. All children will be homeschooled through religion. And the best part, chat, for anybody who resists, for anybody who defies this particular law, there are re-education camps to repurpose your brain to make you more compliant and willing to be a servant of Project Esther's law. By the way, none of this is written in code. I'm not assuming or coming up with ideas based off what I read. No, this is quite literally how it's written. Very, very, very blunt for all of us to completely understand what we're about to face. Project Esther, like Project 2025, was written by the Heritage Foundation, so it's obviously backed by Christian nationalists. But it is so deeply rooted in white supremacy and Nazi rhetoric that it literally makes my skin crawl. And if it doesn't make your skin crawl, I need you to go right ahead and run this shit back and listen to what I said again.
Today is such a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and, well, the co-founder of the Heritage Foundation and the co-writer of Project 2025 is going to end up here over the weekend because he dropped dead yesterday. That's right. That man that wanted to write me out of existence for just being the person that I am dropped dead yesterday. And I just wanted to remind everybody that supports him, his family, and his friends that you don't get empathy when you literally are trying to write people out of existence by hiding behind your Bible and your Christianity and ignoring the red words of Jesus while simultaneously canceling any influencer who reminds you of what the words of Jesus said. That's right. I'm waving my pride flag like a badge of fucking honor today because I'm still walking this earth while that piece of shit is being buried 6 feet deep, but also going to the bottom of the pits of hell. Because at the end of the fucking day, if you're going to literally go against the words of Jesus and you're going to use your Bible to try to justify trying to write somebody out of existence like myself, then we all know that you're not crossing the pearly gates and you're not welcome in open arms by Jesus and God. We know that you're going to be welcome in open arms by Satan, down in the pits of hell where you absolutely deserve to be. And I hope all of his family and his friends and all of the Heritage Foundation all understands that we only walk this earth one time and we all have one chance to live, and all of you guys chose to live it the way that you do, and all of us are choosing it to live it authentically the way that we want to. May everybody else that's in the Heritage Foundation face the same demise that he did yesterday. Hope this helps.
I don't know if people are paying attention. I hope they are, because God is speaking loudly. One of the co-founders of the Heritage Foundation, the very institution behind Project 2025, is gone. Edward Funer has met his demise, and Donald Trump, he's battling a chronic vein disease that's giving him serious trouble near his heart. Now, let me be clear. I don't rejoice in anyone's death, but I also won't pretend to mourn a man who spent his entire life building systems that hurt people. What I do recognize, however, is the message God is sending. Because what he gives, he can take away. And sometimes he will show the world exactly who's boss by shaking the very foundation of the people who think they run it. Project 2025 was supposed to be the master plan. It was the final act in a long game of conservative control, dismantle government, consolidate power, and turn America into something unrecognizable. And Edwin Funer helped write the blueprint. He institutionalized oppression and dressed it up as policy. And now he's gone, clocked out. Donald Trump, he's still walking, still trying to act untouchable. But God don't care nothing about image. That illness is creeping closer to his heart. And I believe that's not just physical, that's spiritual. It's symbolic. The man who's caused death, division, and destruction in his path is now confronting a silent truth. You are not eternal. And what I don't think people are realizing in this, when Trump goes, that whole regime goes with him. They've built their movement on him, not on values, not on principles. And when the man falls, so will their illusion of power. People are going to start jumping ship. Watch. They'll try to rewrite history, pretend they were never loyal, try to claim they were on the right side the whole time. But God sees them. God is not playing favorites in this season. He's going to the root. He's starting with the heads, and he's reminding all of us that no man, no party, no president, no political founder is greater than his will. This isn't about Democrat or Republican. This is about divine order, about humility, about the fact that if you build something wicked, it's going to collapse, no matter how many courts you pack, no matter how many laws you twist. From January 6th to every underhand policy passed in the dark, people have died because of the systems these men created. And if you believe in justice, if you believe in God, then you already know judgment comes. God is speaking. He's letting us know who's really in control. And he's reminding all of us to humble ourselves, to treat people with love, and to remember that no one is above the law, at least not God's law. So let this be a lesson. You can build kingdoms. You can write manifestos. But if it doesn't serve the people, if it doesn't honor justice, if it doesn't align with righteousness, then it will fall. And the names behind it, they'll be forgotten. But the truth will remain. God is still the boss, and he's calling time on every empire that thought it could take his place.
This is all I got from this video. And for those that do not believe before that Project 2025 was a thing, I am sure you all are seeing the co-founder, Edwin, what happened. And yeah, there is what the other lady said about Esther, Project Esther. I am not completely sure about that. But you all already know that the same way Project 2025 happened, and people did not believe it, was also the same. I don't know for now. It might also be the same thing. And I am not going to talk about Project Esther because I don't know a lot about Project Esther. And I will also make my research, right? And I just decided to bring this so people will also know that in case if we end up hearing Project Esther, so we will know that Project Esther is a thing. Right. Let's continue. Now, sometimes some people think their life is all in their hands, probably because for that moment that they are breathing, they think like, they will live forever, because tell me how these people, their plan is to render people render people maybe jobless, just make their life miserable. Because everything surrounding Project 2025 is chaos. And you all know how chaotic this administration is also. And this administration is operating on Project 2025. Literally everything that was stated in Project 2025 are all happening. I remember when Black people started screaming about Project 2025 and how horrible it is, and how it was going to affect literally everybody. Some people thought it was always them blowing fake, because it was more like they are blowing fake alarms and all that. But now it is happening straight up right in their faces that it was not fake alarms. I don't want to tell you that I am happy, but you all already know that it's a beautiful obituary. And what more can people say? Sometimes people do things thinking that they are going to live forever. The reality is that you do not have your life in your hands, and anything can happen at any time. This is also a typical example of what just happened. Probably a day before he passed and all that, he might have made plans on how they are going to frustrate, because the administration is all about frustrating people. Their plan was also about frustrating people. So their plan is just to frustrate people's lives and their own got straight up. Yeah, this is all I have to say. Bye for now.